Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy? Who's fallen on the drop list this month? Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains! If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Royal Highness, looking very lovely today, just like usual. Doing the princess wave, you do it too. Bow down, respect, and of course, there's the Coco dog. Don't forget about her.
Coco's here. It's her favorite episode.
Mm-hmm.
It is the drop list. We made it, guys. It is Monday. We are in the month of August, and we have the August drop list for you. I'm excited. This should be a really good one. If you guys are new to the drop list, ComicGains crew gets together now once a month, and we scour the internet for hot lists, trending lists, any kind of lists that have to do with why people are buying comics, and we research those exactly 1 year later and find out which of those books have gone way down in price, and then they make our list, the top 5 biggest drop books of the month. And it's kind of cool because it's a good way to decide if maybe everyone's forgot about this book, a good time to pick it up, or Zach may tell you should forget this book ever existed.
Forget it.
Right? Before we get into the drop list, and this one's a little bit themed, let's take a drink. It's Thirsty Monday.
Yeah, it's Thirsty Monday. We got some popping boba drink. The Pocus is what it's called. Strawberry dragon fruit oolong tea.
Ooh,
Yum.
dragonfruit.
It's a Taiwan classic. Apparently. I've never been in Taiwan.
A Taiwan classic?
Yeah, that's what it says. It says
That dragon fruit
Taiwan
would be
classic.
good. Is it Italian soda?
It's a Taiwan classic. How is it Italian?
I don't know. I thought I saw Italian soda.
With oolong tea. Italian soda. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty dang
Is it pretty
good.
good?
Wow, they're onto something there. Yeah, I would buy this again.
They're doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else is doing something right? Us on Whatnot every weekend. Check our listing times. Adam and Zach, 30 seconds, $1 starts, and the princess. If you're wondering why the princess never talks, it's because she saves it all for Whatnot. Come check it out with her. Also, dollar starts. Best mystery polls in the game.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it out. All right, let's kick this list off, guys. Let's kick it off. Avengers Assemble, right? Avengers style. We've got Avengers 196. Oh, that's a surprise book to make the list. 1980. The great George Perez and David Michelini working on this book together. First appearance of what, Zach?
Taskmaster.
The Taskmaster, yeah. Everyone's favorite villain. It's a cool dude. He literally has the ability to copy anybody's fighting style, right? Not necessarily abilities. Can't like shoot like Cyclops' like blasters out of his eyes, but
but like Daredevil and Bullseye and anybody that has.
Captain America's a big one. Spider-Man. I think when his claim to fame is when he originally watched everybody on TV, and so he was already like prepared to fight when he started like going against the heroes. And he's been a cool character for a while. A lot of people like him. He started out a little quiet, and then he got a nice voice where he's kind of similar to like Deadpool. He has a lot to say. He's always kind of like a merc for hire, so he's not like innately evil. You know what I mean? Like he kind of just like goes where the money is. If the money says kill that guy, he says, oh, all right. But I don't think he's like really like cares to just kill people for no reason. And he's a fan favorite. Fantastic book. It's for this time period for an Avengers book. I think it's always been not more expensive than it should be, but it's fun that a book like this has this good a value for a villain's first appearance. You know what I mean? Not like even that major of a villain. But we rewind the clock a little bit. Why was he really, really famous a few years back?
Oh, he was part of the Black Widow.
The Black Widow movie, yeah. So, and that was, in some people's opinion, like a big letdown. We had the Black Widow movie. We knew we were getting a Taskmaster. We saw some early designs. And then it kind of had that, like, Wolverine Origins effect. You know, it's like the Deadpool with the mouth sewn shut, where the character literally said nothing, and, like, Taskmaster is famous for, like, saying things. I didn't think it really mattered that it was a female. Olga Kurylenko played her, which was cool. She's actually a Bond girl from the Quantum of Solace movie as well,
cool.
too. So if you wanted to recognize her, she can, pretty good. And but that was kind of a letdown that you played, just like kind of a mindless person. Like they had the same abilities, but just didn't really do the right stuff. And we're going to see her again. Maybe they can switch it up. Last year, they did announce the lineup for the Thunderbolts movie. That's why this book was trending last year in August at the last San Diego Comic-Con last year. And she'll be a character in the new Thunderbolts movie playing Taskmaster again. We'll see where that goes. A lot of people think the Thunderbolts movie is not going to be good. It's kind of what I'm hearing. It's something now that, not that they have a new regime, but they're taking everything in this new direction with like Doom and Robert Downey Jr. And Thunderbolts was kind of one of those leftover movies that they were planning with the old group. And I think they've just announced too much and filmed too much that they're not going to scrap it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it's good, but I have a feeling it may not be as good as we think it could be. More importantly, though, is it the right time to buy Avengers 196? It's kind of hot, kind of not.
Right,
Maybe
right.
not.
All right, about a year ago, people were really loving Taskmaster. He's the bee's knees, the actual villain that you'd want that's like on the same level as Punisher kind of style. You could buy a CGC 9.8 for about $1,100.
Ooh.
Now it dropped a little bit. It's like the B-list, C-list villain that you're like, whatever. At a $912. Not too bad. It's a 17% drop. Not the worst drop in the world.
That's not terrible.
Range 780 to 1,100. Average sales 857. If that makes sense? That does make sense. There's 5,092 total grade. 280 of them are CGC 9.8s. That's only 5% of total graded.
That's crazy.
So that's not too bad.
That's hard to get that one. All right.
Not too bad. Great cover. Nice green cover.
Great cover.
A couple of different variants of it, so keep an eye out for that. I believe there's a Canadian variant. I believe it is. But there's also a newsstand if there's not. And then, of course, there's a Mark Jeweler, so keep an eye out on that. And yeah, it's not a bad book. Villains can be hit and miss, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, this is it's just a fan favorite villain, I think. You know, as bad as the character was live action, I think people still respect that it's like a good character. So
yeah,
it's here to stay, and that's a great. Like Zach said, it's a great cover, one of the best villain covers I've ever seen. A lot better than Bullseye's first cover. So I can tell you that much. Actually, that's a decent cover. But all right.
Okay.
Let's kick it off. Let's go. Let's jump into number 4. We're sticking with Marvel, guys. We're talking about letdowns. Let's talk about the biggest letdown of recent times. You know this was going to make the list soon. We got Uncanny X-Men 130?
130.
130, guys. Oh, we got 1980 as well. That was a good year. This came out in 1980. This is worked on 2 people, John Byrne and John Romita Jr. Actually worked on this cover together, written by Chris Claremont. This one has a lot of first and second appearances. We got first appearance of the Dazzler. Also, this is basically as good a cover as the last one. Just front and center, the character right there. Second appearance of Kitty Pryde, Emma Frost, and first appearance of Sebastian Shaw. I know that's kind of debated a little bit. They call this the first full appearance. So, so a lot of good things going on with this book. And obviously, we all know the huge hype. Everyone thought Taylor Swift was going to be Dazzler in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. They took all those pictures together. They were at like the Chiefs game. Everyone's like, she made a song on her new album called like Dazzler or something along those lines. And I don't know why everyone got so excited. Not to have anything against Taylor Swift. I like her better as a singer. I don't really know her as an actress. She could be good, maybe, you know. Some singers can turn into actresses, but it's not like I was like super pumped she was gonna like play a character like Dazzler. However, on that note, if you guys ever read X-Men, like Dazzler is kind of a cool character. I think she looks cooler than she actually is like written. If you read anything about her, she's slightly boring. She's like a pop star, and they show up in the book, and they're like, "Hey, we're collecting new mutants to join the X-Men. Do you want to be on the team?" And she's like, "No," and then walks away. You don't see her again like for a long time. Like Kitty says yes, but Dazzler says nay. Nay.
No, thank you.
However, it is still a very cool book. I would welcome to have one in my collection. And now that all the Deadpool Wolverine hype is over, this is the perfect time to jump on a book like this. You may need to give it a little more time. Zach might be able to give you a better idea on this. Bolo Report, the newsstand copy is worth slightly more. However, that doesn't make any sense because it's 1980. and the direct edition would be far more scarce. So
Yes.
I don't know why that is, but it is.
I don't know either.
One of those little mysteries in life.
Yeah, maybe it's just like less aesthetically pleasing with the direct edition than it is with the newsstand. I don't know. But it was dazzling the people a year ago-ish, October, for $1,980.
Oh, that's pretty close to the last one.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
What? Oh,
No,
no,
it's
it's
not.
about
$800 more. Never mind. Never mind.
Now, it's lost a little bit of a sparkle, you know? It's razzle dazzle. At $1,560 for a CGC 9.8. The range, it's been as low as $1,043 to as high as $2,193. Average sell is $1,625. It's about a 21% drop. Not too bad for this book, you know? Especially with how the comic market has been lately. Not too bad. There's 5,930 total graded. There's only one 9.9.
Oh, there is a 9.9.
Which is crazy. I'd be loving having that one. I would love to have that one. There you go. Words. 380 9.8. That's about 6% of total graded.
I like that number. I like that number.
It's a nice black cover, you know, so it's hard to get into a 9.8. A lot of key appearances in this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dazzler might seem on surface level that she's not the greatest character ever, but come on. We're starting to go back to the sing-along kind of movie. So what better character to have than Dazzler be in a sing-along movie?
That's why you get Lady Gaga to do it, dude.
Right?
They're just waiting for Lady Gaga to be a good Dazzler.
Yes, go Gaga.
We know she can act.
Yeah. I might want to see Taylor Swift maybe do a couple scenes. I mean, she's already a singer. She's already making a lot of money. So it's like, why would she, go to acting when she already making all this money singing? I mean, it doesn't make much sense.
Unless you have a love for it.
Unless you have a love for it back. I don't think she has that much of a love for it. I think she loves money, like all of us do.
Just that. Exactly as money. More than anybody else.
Wow.
All right, guys. Talking about money, we got an expensive book at number 3. The Amazing Spider-Man issue 121. 1973. We have owned this book before, actually signed by Stan Lee. We should not have sold that. But we don't have one in the house currently, and this is a very, very cool book. You can see a picture right here. John Romita Sr., Jerry Conway, and this is, and Zach doesn't usually like, not this book in particular, but this type of books, but this is the death of Gwen Stacy, the famous neck snap at the Spider-Man rescue. And it's a cool book. You know, not often will you say let's get a death book. You know what I mean? A lot of time characters that die don't stay dead. Gwen Stacy's kind of the exception for the most part. At least like the regular version of her has passed. And there's a really cool story behind the death of the Gwen Stacy and how they came to that, like how they decided to do that. So if you guys didn't know, Gwen Stacy's based on Stan Lee's wife. So like she looks similar to his wife, and that's why he created the character as like an honor of his wife. Well, over time, they started to get a little tired of just her character and how she interacted with Peter, and they wanted to do different things, and they decided she got a little boring. Then they added in Mary Jane, and Mary Jane was like this party girl who was kind of dating Harry, but they were like, hey, this redhead's a little more exciting. Maybe we can, hook her up with Peter. But they realized, Peter's not that kind of guy. He's not going to two-time two girls. We were talking about Peter Parker here. So when... There's a bunch of different accounts of this, but when Stan Lee was on vacation in a different city, the team of Romita Sr. and Conway decided this would be a good opportunity to kill off Gwen Stacy. So supposedly, whoever you want to believe, they were like, we talked to Stan and he gave us the okay, but that supposedly when Stan got back, he said he didn't know that they killed him. This is a lot of hearsay, so I don't actually heard in person that Stan said this, but I don't know if he was unhappy that they killed Gwen, but there's a lot of things that go into it, and especially if you ask Conway, or if you did ask Conway about it, he didn't even remember them putting the snap onomatopoeia in there when she broke her neck, so they didn't even remember saying to put that in there. So that there was supposed to be like maybe Green Goblin killing her, but then they changed it last second that Peter accidentally killed her in the rescue to make it even more crazy. But it gets into a whole mess where when Stan actually eventually wanted her to come back, so that's why he created that goofy clone story where he's like, let's get this like community college professor Miles Warren to re-clone Gwen so we can bring her back in the story again. And that's when everyone's like, yo dude, she dead, like she needs to go bye-bye
later.
Anyway, why was this book hot last year? This is kind of a strange one. I feel like this is a classic and it should not really go in waves of popularity. I know with the talk of Andrew Garfield getting his third Amazing Spider-Man movie, which I'm pretty sure is in the works. There'll be a crossover with Venom because they're technically in the same universe. And his story is the only one that actually had Gwen Stacy in it, played by Emma Stone, who did die in the same fashion in the second movie. So I don't know if that had any lenience towards the book getting hot. Definitely one you want to have in your collection. I'll be on the hunt for it again. But more importantly, what's that?
Yeah.
Is it time?
It just might be, guys. Who wanted that most beautiful blonde in the world? Everyone, a year ago. Because you could buy one for 9.6 for $2,295 for 9.6.
Wow.
Now, I don't want no blondes. I want brunette. No, I want a redhead.
It's a redhead.
I want a redhead. I just want somebody.
Can't even get your ladies straight.
Got so many ladies.
Juggling.
I don't know what to do. You can buy one for $1,600 for 9.6. Pretty reasonable. Range gets even more reasonable. You could have bought one at one time in the year for $1,377 for a CGC 9.8, but as high as $2,295 a year ago. Average sale is $1,702. It's about a 30% drop. You could have bought a 9.8. Good luck finding one for $5,880.
It's not that bad. That's not. I mean, it's expensive, but it's not that bad.
It's more than double the most current price a year ago. It's only double, but yeah, that's still pretty dang expensive. I mean, it's gonna take you a little while to pay that off. There's a surprising 8,270 books total graded. 9.8s have 88, and 9.6s has 226. Each one's less than 4%. The 9.6 is 3%, and then 9.8 is 1%. About. Yeah, it's a fantastic book, classic. I think if you buy it now, wait 10 years, it's going to be worth probably double this amount. Easy. Probably really easy.
Easier than Easy Mac?
Super easy. The easiest of easy.
The Big Easy?
Let's take it easy and go on to the next book.
Alright. I got a philosophical question for you though, Zach. Okay. Would you rather have the Uncanny X-Men 130 in a 9.8 or the Amazing Spider-Man 121 in a 9.6? Since they're very similar in price.
I'd rather have the 9.8 130 just because I'm a big X-Men fan. It would probably be more beneficial to get that 9.6. I will say.
There you go. You heard it here first. All right, we were talking about Gwen, so let's just stay on her.
Oh, yeah.
On the book, I mean. It's going to be...
Really on her.
We got number 2 on the list, Edge of Spider-Verse. 2014, Robbie Rodriguez and Jason Latour. This has definitely been a repeat offender on the list, and for good reason. I mean, there was a time when this was very, very, very expensive. Zach will probably have to get into it a little bit more. But first appearance of the Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy from Earth 65. There's also a couple other first appearances like MJ Watson, who's like a different version of Mary Jane Watson. They're in a band together. They showed in the movie a little bit. This is the main series of the Edge of Spider-Verse that they did, the very first one. It's sort of strange how they did this. So they had like a solo series called Edge of Spider-Verse where all the books are numbered that way. And actually, the story in these are almost spin-offs. Or tie-ins. They're not even like the regular story. The real story was going on in Amazing Spider-Man. So it's strange that they numbered it that way, so you could like see the Spider-Verse in those ones were numbered, and that's the real story. These were all just like individuals of these characters, and then showing how they tied into the Spider-Verse at the end. So kind of strange. This character obviously got popular because of what major movie years ago is that?
Yeah, what? Return of the Spider-Verse? No.
Into the Spider-Verse. I'm getting confused. There are a bunch of different names. But Into the Spider-Verse blew up Miles and Gwen. They became household names. Most people didn't even know they existed before that movie. I mean, they were around. They looked really cool. Some of them had good stories. I think Miles has a really good story. Gwen's story is a little You can decide if you like Spider-Gwen for her story. I think she's a very cool-looking character. But it's an exciting book. It was kind of like the second biggest modern book of that era. From the 2000s, the second most expensive book after Ultimate Fallout 4. But we did have Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel, come out last June in 2023.
Pretty good.
Awesome movie. Really, really good. It's really hard to beat that first one, but I think they did a very good job. I would not say it's probably not as good as the first one, but it's very, very good. I was not unhappy with it at all. Haley Steinfeld is a boss. She killed it. She's awesome in live action. She's a good voice actor. She's a good singer. She's a triple threat. Yeah. She can do whatever she wants. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm sure when Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out, hopefully that doesn't get confusing. That's the last one, the third one in this series. Zach thinks the books may spike up a lot more. I don't think it's quite going to go as much as it was before, but we'll see. We've had an age-old debate on this. Great book, though. I don't think it's anything that you want to retire on, because it's going to take a long time, 30 years before this book is really, really expensive. But keep in mind, I like to store you guys Bolo reports when it comes to modern books. The one you may want to go after is the Greg Land 1 in 25. I'm kind of confused why that book's so expensive. It's a good cover, but I'm surprised it's that expensive. It's crazy expensive for a 1 in 25. And Zach will tell you there is an error on this book as well, right?
Yeah, I still don't know if mine is or isn't, but apparently in the background it kind of blends in with the comic. It's a very similar color.
It's supposed to be more maroon and less black.
Yes.
Yeah, the background behind Gwen. So we've never seen two side by side that are that different, and it's hard to see them over the internet, but we'll see. Yeah. It's also on note, there's a second, third, and fourth, and fifth printing of this book. All of them go down in price as you go higher in number of printing. So some books have the opposite effect. This book does not.
But the funny thing is, each book, I think, also lowers its print run, too.
I don't know. I think the second print actually has the lowest print run.
Is it really?
I could be wrong, but they're the ones that actually state a low print run.
Well, they were shooting webs all over the place. It was getting really sticky icky a year ago.
Now it's time for a cleanup?
Yeah, now it's time for a cleanup. Called the masseuse. Anyways, for 9.8, you could get one a year ago for $1,025. Now, yeah, I don't know. No one wants to, spread web all over the place. It's too much of a hassle. It's not worth cleaning it up. So the thing went down to about $700.
Oh, it's down to $700?
About $700. It's hard to say when you're taking offers and other things in consideration.
That means it might be lower.
I did see someone get a bundle deal for 2 books, 2 of the same book, and they paid $1,400. So half of that, $700 a piece. But that was a bundle deal on eBay. BOGO.
Buy one, get one half off.
Yeah. So the range is $700 to as high as $1,500. I regret being that guy. But average sale is $887. It's about a 32% drop. This one has almost the same amount of copies graded as ASM 121. It's at 8,200. Actually, it has 4 more graded. 8,274. It's at the same level as, that's funny, and it's a Gwen Stacy key.
I wonder what the print run is on this. If it's 30,000 or something, that's 1/3 of the books are slabbed. I mean, I don't know if it's that low, but I can't imagine they're printing that many of these back in the day.
I wouldn't think so. Probably 30,000, 40,000 probably would be the max. There's 5 9.9s, and that's less than 1% of the print run. There's 3,659 total 9.8 graded. That's 44% of the print run. 44% of total graded. And yeah, that's a little high. and considering it's also a black background book, I'm surprised.
And you get a 9.8. And you get a 9.8. And you get a 9.8.
Everybody gets a 9.8. Party time, right? Excellent. Yeah, it's a decent book. It's going to take some time for it to go back up to significant value. I mean, $700 is a lot of money. I bought mine for $900, but then it was at one point $2,000. Should have sold. So I think it'll get it back up to that point. It's just going to take some time. The movie coming up next for Gwen Stacy probably will bring it up pretty close to that number. She was
almost more the main character in the last movie than Miles was, almost. Like, it started out with her.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Baby Bump. Is that the word? Baby Bump? The lady that with the spider baby, right?
Yeah.
Spider baby.
There's no spider baby.
Spider baby.
The other guy had the spider baby.
2 spider babies. Anyways, yeah, I think it's a good pickup. You could wait, or you could buy one right now. I'm not gonna be mad at you. No. I think it will go up. It's just going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah, and people are still reading her. She has a current book right now. I think it may have more to do with their great covers. Mark Brooks is doing the covers for her stuff right now. But yeah, she always has a book going. As soon as it ends, they spit out another one.
I am.
Keep it going. Keep it going. All right. Man, we've been all Marvel today. Let's finish off number 1 with a DC book. We've got the Saga of the Swamp Thing, issue number 37. We don't have this book either. We've never had this book. None of us have had this book. 1985. We got Stephen Bissett and Alan Moore. Do your best Alan Moore voice.
Alan Moore, ha ha ha. I don't think I met Alan Moore.
Oh, okay. It's actually the
Alan Moore, ha 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 ha.
He's like a wizard now.
Oh, beware my powers! Ha ha!
There you go. First appearance of John Constantine, also known as the Hellblazer.
Hellblazer.
Yeah. This is a really cool book. It's just a great yellow cover. Swamp Thing on the cover. I mean, I don't know if it would be better with John Constantine on the cover. I think it actually looks cooler with Swamp Thing on there. Just if you want Constantine on the cover, buy Hellblazer 1 because that one's cool too and has some value to it. But there's so many fun things to talk about Constantine. He's a fan favorite. Everyone loves him. I think it's really interesting that this Swamp Thing book was very successful when it came out. The writing was very good, and then immediately after Alan Moore used him in the Swamp Thing book, Neil Gaiman's like, hey, can I use him in my Sandman book too? Like right away in like the second issue? And he's like, sure, go ahead. So I crossed over immediately to Sandman, also a fan favorite series. And just goes from there. He's had great books all the way through. He's sort of like anti-hero type guy where like he means well, but he also doesn't give a damn if like bad things happen to people, if like he gets at what he wanted done in the end. You know, he's here to like kill demons and stuff like that, but he's also out for like himself more than I think anything else, which is sort of like his underlying battle with himself.
M.O.
Yeah, his M.O. He loves his cigarettes. I think he even still smoking even to this day. He's like one of the only characters that still gets away with smoking. They took Wolverine's stogie away from him. But Constantine, I think, still has his cigarettes even in his current book. And a lot of people may not like this, but the Keanu Reeves movie back in the day, I really liked that version of him, but I know diehard Constantine fans do not like that version because he's basically an American guy that doesn't act at all like Constantine does in the books. So whatever. But last year, Keanu said one of his favorite characters, and he'd love to remake a sequel of Constantine. And DC was like, yes, let's do it. We're making a sequel. The books are skyrocketed in price again. We're getting a sequel. Everybody loves Keanu. Who doesn't like Keanu?
Keanu.
Yeah, everybody loves him. Literally. I think everybody loves that guy. There's no one that doesn't like Keanu. And James Gunn took over and he's like, nah, that doesn't work out with me. So maybe he's the only guy that doesn't like Keanu. He probably likes Keanu. But he put the axe on that movie. No more Constantine, no more Keanu. It's hard to say if it will ever happen. I wasn't in any private conversations with them. If he was like, hey, not now, but later. Or if he has like his own plan for everything that's going on. Obviously, we had the Sandman TV show, which also bumped the sales a lot. there was some speculation that we might get some version of Constantine. They ended up switching out the Constantine part with Constantine's like great grandmother in the story, which works because she's actually in the Sandman story as well. They both are, but they completely went with the other character instead, which works for it. But I don't know. If we're not getting a Constantine for a while, it might be a good time to get the book. I feel like this book should just be expensive based on it being cool on its own. Shouldn't have anything to do with movie speculation. But is it the right time, Zach? You going to cross this off your list?
Yeah, I was there when they had that conversation. James Gunn and Keanu Reeves. He just said one sentence to him, "Quid pro quo," and then walked off.
Quid pro quo?
Yeah.
This or that?
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Alright, so a year ago, they were chain smoking away for a CGC 9.6. Because 9.8 actually is very, very stable. 9.6 are not.
Put it under your wobbly table, it's so stable.
Yeah. You get the 9.6 a year ago for $994. That's quite a lot. But now, I put the patch on. You can get a 9.6, maybe a couple patches, for $425.
Dang!
It's a 57% drop.
What?
Range, 380 to 994. Average sales, 487. So it's leaning more towards the $400 mark. You could get a 9.8 if you so wish for $1,319 right now. Right? There's 4,394 total graded. There are two 9.9s, less than 1% of total graded. There's 424 in a 9.8. That's about 10%. And I didn't write down the 9.6s. There's probably a lot more. There's probably double. It's probably still like 20% of total
I feel like
graded.
they grade a little harder on DC. I don't have the exact numbers for that, but I feel like it. I feel like you turn in a DC book, you turn in a Killing Joke, you turn in a First Bane, you get a 9.6.
Yeah.
You don't get a 9.8.
Yeah, this must be one of those books where they grade very harshly on it because it's an all yellow cover. I mean, it's going to kind of cover up all the spine ticks or some of the smaller spine ticks. It's going to look like it's going to belong there. So it's like, it shouldn't be that hard to get a 9.8. But in this case, it is. It's like those ASM 300s and this book, and what's the other book that's notoriously bad to get a 9.8? It's like almost you never get it. You know what I'm talking about, right?
That one book.
You
know that one book.
That one book.
The one book you're thinking about right now.
Exactly.
Definitely that
Comment down below.
Yeah.
Comment down. You know what I'm talking about. Comment down. Someone does.
Yeah.
Someone has to.
You know exactly.
So this is a fantastic book to get a 9.6. You can get it in 9.6 or raw, either one. I'm not going to be mad at you, but everybody should get this book. It's such an iconic cover. It's amazing. I'm surprised no one in this household has ever owned this book.
Don't overpay for a raw, though. A lot of people are trying to overcharge on the raws.
Ridiculous.
Don't be buying one for $400.
No, buy it for like
buy a 9.6.
Or buy a 9.6 and then crack it and look at, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is really cool that, like, for a kind of an obscure character, like the average, like, just walkers on the street know who, if you're like, you know who John Constantine is? And they're like, yeah, I do. And it's kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Streetwalkers, yes.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Yeah, but yeah, John Constantine. Mostly everybody knows who he is. It's pretty dope.
And if you ask someone, like, do you know who Booster Gold is? And they're like, I don't know who that is. Who's arguably, I don't know, maybe a more important character? I don't know. That's questionable. Booster Gold?
Yeah, it sounds kind of weird if you think about it. Don't think about it. It gets too weird. Yeah. Oh, I think it was ASM 238.
There you go.
I think it's that one.
All right, guys. That wraps up the drop list for August. If you want to hear these every month, because they're amazing, do us a huge favor right now and hit the subscribe button because you'll get one every month. And the like button, do that for the princess.
Yeah.
She's here for the likes. And leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of this month's drop list. Were you hoping to pick up any of these books now that they're lower in price? Do you think the list is garbage? Do you think we don't know any? No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to tell us any of that.
Yeah, please don't. It'll break our spirits.
And
sweep the leg.
Yeah, take us away. Anything else?
Yeah, sure. How you do that is, again, we're almost at 3,000 followers.
Oh.
And what you can do to help us is tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your girlfriend, if you got one, tell your wife, that you're watching a show with just two guys, just two guys.
Yeah.
There's no girl. Get her to subscribe anyway. Just help us out. We're almost at 3,000. Let's get to 100,000. Then we'll only be 3% of the way.
There you go.
We'll only get 97%. It's gonna be amazing. We'll be the number
And
one.
then we won't be on the drop list.
We'll be on the up list.
There you go.
Why be on downers when you can be on uppers?
All right, guys. Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Get those gains.
Get 'em.
Hopefully not the weird gains.